Hello, Peter here, your Pinoy accountant. And in this video, let's talk about yung guidelines na kaka-release lang ng BIR tungkol doon sa ating guidelines for the annual income tax return for the calendar year ended na December 31, 2025. So, yung RMC na ito, this is the RMC 20-2026. So, March 16 lang to na-release. So, if you would want to read the entire RMC, ipopost ko lang yung link sa ating description box. You can actually download this sa website mismo ng BIR with the annexes na. So, may mga annex tong KeyBat to support this RMC. So, yung pag-usapan natin for today, ano yung mga highlights that is applicable, mga applicable sa ating mga, especially sa ating mga micro and small taxpayers. So, ito yung pag-usapan natin for today. If you're interested, ayan, stay tuned kayo. And sa mga hindi pa nakakapag-subscribe, subscribe kayo sa ating YouTube channel, Pinoy Accountant, and we'll talk about ito mga, ano nga, mga BIR filing and yung bookkeeping na din and any accounting related matters. So, ito, let's start. So, yung unang tanong talaga is, ano ba yung form na gagamitin natin? So, yun nga, madaming confusion kung yung 1701 MS pa talaga yung gamitin natin or we can still use the EBIR form using the 1701 or the 1701A. So, finally, naisagot na dito sa ating RMC that we can use actually any lang kung ano yung applicable sa atin. We can use the 1701, 1701A, or the 1701 MS. So, hindi siya mandatory na 1701 MS yung gagamitin natin. So, 1701, ito quick recap. 1701 yung gagamitin niyo if you are mixed income earner and kapag nagpili kayo ng itemized deduction. Kung 1701A naman, pag nag 8% kayo or optional standard deduction. And yung bago nga natin na form is 1701 MS. Ayan, applicable to micro or small taxpayers. Pag micro or small taxpayers, ibig sabihin less than 20 million yung annual gross sales natin, which is most of us or majority sa atin is nafo-fall under ng micro or small taxpayers. So, ayan. So, yan. Or lang. So, optional. Kung ano yung applicable sa inyo, hindi mandatory na 1701 MS talaga yung gamitin natin. So, buti na lang nag-release kaagad si BIR ng guidelines. So, next natin is where to file and pay. So, again, if 1701 or 1701A, we will use the EBIR form or EFPS if EFPS kayo. But most of us, EBIR form. So, may mga guidelines na tayo niyan, may mga videos tayo on how you can fill out itong 1701 tsaka yung 1701A. So, how do we pay? Once nakapag-file na kayo using the EBIR form, ayan, may mga e-payment gateways. Ayan, yung nandun sa ating RMC, Land Bank or the LinkBiz portal. Ayan, yun yung Union Bank Online and the DBP. Ito yung usually na ginagamit ko is the MyEG and the Maya. Ayan, may video tayo niyan. Because sa MyEG, you can use the credit card, you can use GCash, you can use GrabPay and ShopeePay. You can use using the MyEG. Ayan. So, ayan, or ano pala, authorized agent bank. So let's say nakapag-file na kayo sa EBIR form and you want to pay sa bank, you can pay sa inyong authorized agent banks. So ilalagay ko na sa description box. Actually may list yung BIR kung anong RDO kayo and ano yung mga authorized agent banks na kung saan pwede kayong magbayad. So next natin is pag gusto niyo talang gamitin yung 1701-MS, ayan may video na tayo actually on how you can use the 1701 MS. So, if without tax payable, ibig sabihin wala kayong tax due na that you will need to pay, you can file it dun sa inyong RDO. And if may tax payable naman kayo, you will file it with your authorized agent banks. So, yun. And then next is when is the deadline? So, still the same. The deadline is April 15. Ayan. So, before April 15, ayan, mag-file na tayo and pay if ever there are payables. So, filing and the payment, yung deadline yan is April 15. That is for our 2025 annual income tax return. So, yung mga attachments naman yan, 15 days after ng deadline. So, that is April 30, yung attachments ng ating annual income tax return. And that is using the EAFS naman. So, may video din tayo yan actually on how you can use the EAFS. May step-by-step guide tayo niyan. So, next question is, so, yung RMC na to may kaakibat na mga FAQs and mga annexes. So, if you would want to read yun nga, you can download the entire RMC. But yung common na question talaga dito is, yung mga nakapag-file na using the 1701A or the 1701, kailangan ba mag-refile using the 1701 MS? So again, very clear dun sa ating RMC na no need to refile. So ibig sabihin, valid yung ating 1701 or the 1701A. So yung explanation nila dito, actually yung 1701-MS is hindi naman mandatory, kundi it's just an alternative option for us. So another option for us if we would want the simplified filing. So, yun nga, 2 pages lang kasi pag 1701 MS. So, sa itemized deduction, hindi nyo na kailangan i-categorize kung ano yung mga expenses nyo. So, yun yung somehow advantage ng 1701 MS. But again, it's still manual and masyado siyang prone to errors because manual nyo i-compute yung mga figures doon. So, next question is, the taxpayer COR shows only BIR 1701 or 1701A. So, kailangan pa bang i-update natin yon to include the 1701-MS? So, yung sagot dyan is no. No need yun nang i-update. And if you would want to use yung 1701-MS, pwede nyong gamitin kahit wala sa inyong COR. But again, it's also an option na kung gusto nyo talagang daw ilagay yung 1701-MS sa inyong COR, you can update your COR sa inyong RDO. So, ayan. So, again, no need to update if gusto nyo gamitin yung 1701-MS. And then, last, yung mga required attachments. Ano ba yung mga required attachments? So, dito, nakalist lang dito yung mga required na attachments. So, ayan, yung if nag-e-filing kayo, yung reference number. And if EBIR form naman kayo, yung tax return receipt confirmation email. So, ayan, nakalagay din dyan yung proof of payment. So, and the list. So, we also talked about this. May video tayo dyan. So, ipopost ko lang yung mas detailed na discussion natin. So, yung tanong lang dito actually is na hindi nakalagay dun sa ating RMC is, what if wala tayong 2307, wala tayong mga tax credits, wala tayong audited financial statements, or wala tayong unaudited financial statements, kailangan pa ba natin i-attach yung tax return receipt confirmation email or the proof of payment? So, clarify ito actually dun sa recent webinars ng BIR. Kahit yung last year pa na webinar ng BIR is they made it clear na pag wala naman kayong 2307, ayan, wala naman kayong financial statements, ayan, hindi nyo na kailangan i-attach yung tax return receipt confirmation email, ayan, yung proof of payment, hindi nyo na kailangan i-attach yun. I-attach nyo lang yun pag may mga tax credits kayo, 2307, ayan, pag may mga FS kayo, ayan, kailangan nyo i-attach yung tax return receipt confirmation. And also, clarify din nila na yung pag nag-EBIR form tayo or EFPS, yung form itself, for example, 1701 or 1701-A, hindi na natin kailangan i-attach yun because may copy na daw sila nun. So, yung gusto nilang na i-attach natin is the tax return receipt confirmation lang or the reference number if ever EFPS kayo. So, ayan. So, yan, just read through kung ano pa yung mga other attachments. But in most cases, yung nag-apply sa atin, 2307, ayan, 2316 if mixed income earner kayo, and the tax return receipt confirmation email, and the proof of payment, and the SALT na din, the itong validation report of your electronically submitted summary alpha list of withholding taxes. So again, yun lang yung ating video for today. We just talked about itong RMC 20-2026 or the guidelines in filing of your annual income tax return. So if may mga tanong kayo, just comment down below. And sa mga hindi pa nakapag-subscribe, subscribe kayo sa ating YouTube channel, Pinoy Accountant. And if you would want to support our channel, you can go to our website www.pinoyaccountant.com/donate. So super thank you sa mga nag-donate and sa mga nag-comment. Super na-appreciate ko yung mga nag-comment and nag-like. So i-share nyo din yung ating mga video so that madami pa yung magiging aware kung paano ba natin i-file, tamang pag-file ng ating annual income tax return and tamang pag-bookkeeping. So again, thank you very much and I'll see you in our next videos.